Welcome back, students. This video is for the students of class 9th, subject Science, chapter number 11, that is Work and Energy. And this is your lecture number 1. So, students, topics to be discussed in today's lecture are: what do you understand by work in terms of physics? Okay. And what is the SI unit of work? After that, I shall discuss nature of work, means in which case work is positive, in which case work is negative, in which case work is zero. Okay, then what is energy? What are its forms of energy? Then what do you mean by mechanical energy? Then I shall take a detailed discussion on kinetic energy and its derivative part. Okay, so these are the several topics which we shall cover in today's lecture. So let's start. So, what do you mean by work? Suppose there is a person who is reading books, drawing diagrams, preparing for tests, attending classes, discussing problems with the friends. So, in other words, she is spending a lot of energy on these activities, right? So, we can say that she is working hard for the examination, but this hard work, it is different from scientific definition of work. In science, there is a difference between work and the work which we use in day-to-day life. Suppose there is a person, he is standing on the ground, okay, and this person is pushing a huge rock. Okay, this is a rock. This person is pushing a huge rock which is placed on this ground. So he is working hard to push this huge rock, right? But the rock does not move from its place. Okay, the person gets completely exhausted in order to move this rock, but the rock does not move. We can say that there is no displacement of the rock. Okay, there is no displacement of the rock. So, in this case, the work is not done on the rock. Okay? So, how to define work in scientific language or in terms of physics? What is work? Work is said to be done when force is applied on an object and the object gets displaced in the direction of applied force. Okay. Suppose there is an object of mass m which is placed on the floor. Okay. It is at rest. It is at stationary position. Now, I am applying some force on this object F. Okay. So, on applying force, this object gets displaced. Okay. It moves some distance. It covers some distance. And after time t, it reaches here. Okay. When the force is applied on the object of mass m, the object gets displaced from its position after time t. Okay, and the displacement takes place in the direction of applied force. Okay, the force is applied in this direction and the displacement is also in this direction. So, work is said to be done. Okay, there are two things. Number one, force should act on an object, and number two, the object must be displaced. Okay, these are the conditions which need to be satisfied for work to be done. Clear? So have you understood? Work is said to be done when force is applied on an object and the object gets displaced in the direction of applied force. Okay. Now, what is the formula for work? Work is force into displacement. Okay. It is the product of force and displacement. And this work is a scalar quantity. Why? Because it has only and only magnitude. It has no direction. Okay, this is the direction of force. It is not the direction of work. So work is a scalar quantity. And the formula is force into displacement means F. F means force and S means displacement. So work is Fs. Clear? Now, how to calculate the SI unit of work? Work is Fs. Okay. Now, F means force, S means displacement. What is the unit of force? Newton. And what is the unit of displacement? Meter. So, Newton into meter. So, Newton meter or joules. Okay. Newton meter, we can say joules. So, the SI unit of work is joules. Clear? Now, how to define 1 joule? Work is Fs. Okay. If 1 Newton force is applied on an object and the object gets displaced by distance of 1 meter. So we can say that work done is 1 joule. Okay. So you can note down the definition. 1 joule is the amount of work done when force of 1 Newton displaces the object by 1 meter along the direction of applied force. Okay. This is necessary to mention in which direction it gets displaced. It gets displaced along the direction of applied force. Means in the direction in which the force is applied, the displacement of by 1 meter takes place. So this is the definition of 1 joule. Okay. Moving ahead to our next topic, nature of work. Means work can be positive, work can be negative, work can be zero also. So, in which case work done is positive, in which case work done is negative, and in which case work done is zero. So, let us study. Work is positive when the applied force causes displacement in its own direction. Okay, means this is an object of mass m which is placed on the floor and force is applied in this direction F, and the object gets displaced in this direction by 1 meter or by say 2 meter, any distance it can be. So force is applied in this direction and the displacement is also in the direction in which the force is applied. So work done is positive when the applied force causes displacement in its own direction. Means the direction of force and the direction of displacement are same. So work done is positive in this case. Okay. Now in which case work done is negative? Work done is negative when force acts in the opposite direction of displacement of a body. Okay, when force and displacement they are opposite to each other. In that case, work done is negative. Let us understand with the help of example. Again, I am considering the same case. There is an object of mass m which is placed on the floor. Okay, now force is applied on this mass m in this direction and the displacement is also taking in this direction. Now you know that in the opposite direction there is force of friction. Okay, in this direction force is applied. In the opposite direction of motion there is force of friction. Now see, force of friction is existing in this direction and displacement is taking in this direction. So both are opposite to each other. In this case, work done is negative. Okay. In the first case, the work done by the person who is applying force. So work done is positive. In second case, work done by the friction on this object. It is negative. Okay. And the last case, work done is 0. When the force acts at right angle to the direction of displacement. Means if this is a displacement, this is the direction of displacement and force is existing or force is acting at this direction. So both the things, they are perpendicular to each other, they are at right angles. Force and displacement, they are perpendicular to each other. So in this case, work done is 0. Okay, when force and displacement are perpendicular to each other. Let us take an example. There is an object of mass m which is placed on the floor. Okay, now this object, it has some weight. It has some weight. What would be the weight of this object? Weight is mg. M is the mass of the object and g is acting downward. Okay, weight is mg. So this is the direction of force. Weight is basically a force now. So this is the direction of force, vertically downward. And the car is displaced along this direction. When force is applied, the car is displaced along this direction. So both force done on the object and the displacement, they are perpendicular to each other. So the work done by the gravity on this object is 0. Okay, when force and displacement are perpendicular to each other, the work done by the gravity on this object is 0. Clear? So work is positive when the force and displacement are in same direction. Work is negative when force and displacement are in opposite direction. And work done is 0 when force and displacement are right angle or perpendicular to each other. So this is the nature of work. Your next topic is energy. What do you understand by the term energy? Energy, we can say it is a capacity to do work. Okay, energy is a capacity to do work. And this energy is also a scalar quantity. Okay, because it has only and only magnitude. It does not have direction. So that's why this energy is a scalar quantity. And what is the SI unit of energy? The SI unit of energy is joule. We discussed work. Work was also scalar quantity and the SI unit of work is also joule. Similarly here, the energy is also a scalar quantity and the SI unit of energy is also joule. But the CGS unit is erg. Okay, the CGS unit of energy is erg, ERG. And what is the relationship between joule and erg? You can write down 1 joule is equal to 10 to the power 7 erg. Okay, 1 joule is equal to 10 to the power 7 erg. This is the relationship between the SI unit of energy and the CGS unit of energy. Clear? And bigger unit of energy is also there. That can be kilojoule also. For example, meter, it is kilometer. Similarly, for joule, it is kilojoule. So 1 kilojoule is how many joules? 1 kilojoule is 1000 joule or 10 to the power 3 joule. a bigger unit of energy. ठीक है? So this was all about energy. Now there are different forms of energy. You might have studied in your lower classes. Light energy, solar energy. Solar energy basically comes from sun. Sound energy, electrical energy, chemical energy. Chemical energy is present in the cells which we use in the clocks, watches, right? Heat energy, mechanical energy. What is mechanical energy? Mechanical energy is basically sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. Okay? Mechanical energy is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. So mechanical energy I have written ME, kinetic energy KE, potential energy PE. Okay? This is generally asked in 1 mark. What is mechanical energy? So sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. So this was all about energy and its forms. Now moving ahead to our next topic, that is kinetic energy. Okay? So what do you mean by kinetic energy? Let us take an example to understand this concept. You take a heavy ball, okay, and you drop this ball on a wet sand. Okay, there is wet sand on the ground and you drop this heavy ball on this wet sand from a certain height. Okay, so what will happen? When you will drop this ball on this wet sand, it will create some depression. Okay, a depression will be distinctly visible to you on the wet sand when a ball is dropped from a certain height. Okay, now you increase the height, again it will create the depression. You increase the more height, again it will create the depression. So why the ball make a deeper bend? Why it is creating a depression on the wet sand? What is the reason behind? All these examples like falling of coconut, flowing of water, blowing wind, windmill. Have you seen the windmill? The blades of a windmill, they move through the wind. Okay, an athlete is running. In all these cases, what is happening? There is motion. There is motion of the object now. So what is this energy? All these examples, they possess kinetic energy. Okay, how does the wind move the blades of a windmill? It is due to kinetic energy. How the water is flowing? It is due to kinetic energy. So what is kinetic energy? It is the energy possessed by an object due to its motion. Okay, energy possessed by an object due to its motion. All the above examples, the motion was there. Okay, so it was all due to kinetic energy. Okay, so what is kinetic energy? Energy possessed due to its motion. Now, we shall discuss the derivation of kinetic energy. Means how to calculate the formula for kinetic energy. Suppose there is an object of mass m. Okay, it is placed on the ground and certain force is applied on this object, F. F is the force which is applied on the object of mass m. And the initial velocity, let it be u. Now when the force is applied, what will happen? The object, it gets displaced. After time t, the object gets displaced. And and suppose it comes here. And what will be the velocity here? It will be the v, final velocity, and displacement, let it be s. You can take this example also. This object is placed on the ground. Okay, now I'm applying some force. Okay, initially it was here. The initial velocity was u. Now force is applied. F is the force and the object moves from here to here. Means the displacement is s, and at this point when it is reached after displacement s, the final velocity is v. Clear? So u is the initial velocity, v is the final velocity, m is the mass of the object, f is the force applied on this object, s is the displacement, and a is the acceleration. Okay, you need to specify these things before deriving. Now, what is work done? The formula that we have discussed right now. Work done is force into displacement. W is for work done, F is for force, and S is for displacement. So work is Fs. Now we need to find what is F and what is S. After knowing these values, substitute here and find out the work done. Now you know that according to Newton's second law of motion, what is F? F is ma. Okay? F is ma. So you know F, ma. Now what is S? How you will find S? Apply all the three equations of motion. V is equal to u plus at. S is equal to ut plus half at square. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. Now, in this diagram, was there any time t? T was there? No, t was not there. So, we cannot use the first equation. Can we use the second equation? No, t is also here. In that, t was not there. So, we cannot use t. We cannot use this equation. Now, we are left with this equation only. V square minus u square is 2as. Now from this equation, find out the value of s and substitute here. So v square minus u square is equal to 2as according to third equation of motion. Now from here, what is s? V square minus u square divided by 2a. That will be the value of s. Right? Now we know f, ma. We know s, v square minus u square by 2a. Now substitute these two equations in this. So what you will get on substituting the value of f and s? You will get work done is equal to f is ma into what is s? V square minus u square divided by 2a. Okay. Now a will get cancelled with a. Okay, so 2 take outside, half m v square minus u square. That is work done. Clear? And this work done, it is equal to kinetic energy. Okay, the work done is equal to kinetic energy. Change in kinetic energy. Because here is change now, half m v square, half mv square minus half mu square. Okay, this is change in kinetic energy, final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. So this work done is equal to kinetic energy. These will be same, half m v square minus u square. Okay, now if u is 0, if u is 0, so what will be the kinetic energy? Half m v square. So what is the formula of kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is equal to half m v square, where m is the mass of an object and v is the final velocity of an object. So in any question when the mass and velocity are given and you are asked the kinetic energy, you can find out directly by applying this formula. Okay. If change in kinetic energy is asked, you can write down this half mv square minus u square, that is change in kinetic energy. Okay, so this was all about kinetic energy and its derivation. The derivation is very important from the examination point of view. So understand this concept clearly. So that's all for today's lecture. So what is your homework, students? You have to solve examples 11.1 to 11.4. Along with the examples, you have to solve in-text question number 1, 2, 3, 4 given on page number 149 and in-text question number 1, 2, 3 given on page number 152. Okay? These all questions, they are just based on one formula. Work done is force into displacement, and one more formula, kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. That's it. Okay? They are just one or two lines answer. They are not so lengthy. So do the homework sincerely and revise the derivation of kinetic energy properly. Okay? That's it. Thank you.